Hi there. Hi, Elisa.
Hello, Anne. Good morning.
Good morning. I think we can invite the people to join now.
Join.
Yeah, and I'm struggling to share my presentation.
Okay. Are you using the web browser or the app?
I don't know.
Do
I
you
don't
see?
know. I joined through the invitation in my calendar.
Okay, let me see. 1 second.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you. It's because it's open on my computer. So now usually I just go there and I see it, but it's not there.
Okay, that's strange because you're an attendee, you're a presenter.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have, okay, let me share my screen 1 second.
I have like a bug. Okay, I'm gonna close it.
All right, all right.
No, I have a bug on my computer. It's not responding. Okay, okay, can you just welcome the people? I'm gonna switch off my computer and switch it on again, okay?
Yes, yes, of course, Anne. No worries. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do that, thanks.
All right. Hi, Veronica.
Hi.
Hello, can you try for 1 second if you can share your screen?
Yes.
Do you have the option?
Yeah, I have the option.
Okay, super. So I guess
it's working now, right?
Yes, it is working. It is
Okay.
working. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start letting people in. Hello, hello everyone, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too.
What are you doing? Huh? Did you plan to go? Or just, did you plan to go to the market? Oh.
So this is
So why
Elisa from WOP speaking. We will.
Planning to do what?
Can you please turn off your microphones 1 second because I'm hearing some.
No, yes.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you. We will wait for a couple of minutes for Anne to join because she was having some problems. Oh, there she is. Okay, perfect. Hello,
Yeah.
Anne.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm still struggling a bit to share my presentation, so just let me give me a couple of minutes while we are welcoming everybody. Okay, so now let me try now. Okay, so it's not here. I don't think I'm sharing anything, right?
No, Anne, you're not.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you, Elisa. So you will do it. It's just a couple of slides in a way. It's not a big deal, but it's a weird thing. Okay, just 1 second. Mai, can you also send your presentation to Elisa?
I have. I've sent it to you,
Yeah,
Elisa.
I just opened my email. I can see that it's there.
Elisa, have you received mine?
Yes, I have received it. Yes.
Great, thanks.
Okay, so Elisa, you should have it. Can you open my presentation? So good morning, everybody, or good afternoon for our friends in Asia. I see that we are now, how many people? I can see Simeon, I can see my floor. We have some new faces here that I will introduce a bit later. Okay, we are still missing some friends from Ethiopia. Okay, I've put here in the cover slide the picture that captures the very beginning of this adventure. As you can see, some people were missing, haven't joined the program at that moment, but it was the last time that we could all meet together. And I think it was a nice memories, and I wish we could have reconvened today physically in Bonn, because it was originally the plan. So it's a pity, but we will try to make our best to have a nice workshop anyway. So today we are going also to have our donor, OFID, represented by Walid Melahaine. He's not there yet, so we're gonna give him a couple of minutes to join as well. From we are also still missing, I think, our friends from Ethiopia. And I see that people from Blantyre are also joining now. Okay, so let's give them a couple of minutes. I'm going to introduce Winifred, who is our consultant for knowledge management. I invited her to this workshop because she's going to document two of the WOPs of the program, the one in Malawi, in Blantyre, and the one in Da Nang. So we are busy at the moment preparing the questionnaire that will be sent to you, but she will do this work in February. Okay, I see that Ashan managed to join, which is nice. We should have also Jose Luis who will join. You may remember that he has replaced me during my maternity leave. By the way, yeah, it's the first time we are also reconvening since I came back, I think, a month and a half ago. And I will maybe, while we are still waiting for everybody to join, I would like to just to remember recall some house rule for the meeting. So Elisa, can you put the next slide? Okay, you all remember the rules, which is first to mute your microphone when you're not talking. I can hear some echoes actually. So to mute your microphone, you see there is an icon at the top of the screen on the right where you can mute the microphone. We have also a chat box where my colleagues will put some useful information along the way. You can also write your question there in the chat box if you have some question, but we will have some slots during the workshop for question and answer. And if you, during the discussion, when you want to talk, you can raise your hand. So you have to click on the icon also on the top of the screen where you have a hand to indicate that you want to discuss, to say something. And I will moderate the discussions. Also, on the top right of the screen, you have a rectangle with an arrow, which is for sharing your screen. And I hope you will be luckier than me and manage to do so. But in case you can't, it's not a problem because we have your presentation. So we will handle the presentation from our side. But we would like you to share your screen. It's more convenient for the presenters. But if it doesn't work, we have a plan B. So I see that Mr. Mehalaine has joined as well. So I will give him the floor if he's ready for just some welcoming remarks. We should have also Mr. Musab Alomar from OFID as well joining. I don't know if he has joined yet, but Mr. Mehalaine will tell us this. And I just want also to let you know that he will not be able to be with us for the whole program, so we will have to excuse him at some point. Okay, so Mr. Mehalaine, if you want to say a few words, please switch on your camera and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this event, virtual, given the circumstances. I will indeed be here for just the first part of the meeting. Nevertheless, I wanted to say indeed a few words. We know that has been a very challenging time the past 2 years to work, so not the least to implement projects and to deliver results on the ground. So I would like to commend the efforts of every and each of you of us in trying to keep up the momentum and trying to deliver the expected results. My understanding from the agenda is that the main purpose of this event is really to get a sense of what have been the main results, achievements, challenges faced by different partners. And in addition to success factors, I would like to also suggest to see also the way forward, to have a more what is next, because this is in our view, from our perspective, equally important. And with that, really, I don't want to take more of the time. I think let's get started. Thank you very much. And floor is back to you. Thanks. One thing, I believe Mr. Lumar will not be able to join this morning. Yeah, so just to let you know. But as we discussed yesterday, we could schedule other meetings with to discuss the specifics of each project with him and other colleagues. Over. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your words. Indeed, as you said, the purpose of this workshop today is really to assess the work done on the ground by the teams, the final achievements, because we are now close to the end of the project, and also to discuss, to reflect on the challenges that were met, the success factors, and the recommendations for the way forward to GWOP, to the coordinators to go forward and to plan for new projects as well. Before presenting the program in detail, I just want to say a few words or so, and I'm sure Simeon will do the same later. Just to pay a tribute to our dear colleague Charles Botti, who was the coordinator on the African side for AFWA, who, sorry, I'm a bit emotional, who just died before the Christmas break. So I just wanted to say a few words. Elisa, can you put the slide with his pictures? That's the last slide. And I just want to remember him, to have some thoughts for his family, for his professional family as well, and just pay that tribute before we continue the work. Yeah. just some nice memories of him at work. He was a very dedicated professional. I think he did a very good job for the project, despite all the challenges that we met. And he was too young to leave. Okay, sorry, without any transition now, I will just switch back to the program, Elisa. I'm sure we will also have some words for him during the discussion when we will go to our partners. Can you put the program? Okay. All right. So we will start with Asia. So we will have my floor presenting an overview of the two WOPs that are remaining because one was dropped along the way, unfortunately. It was Chittagong in Bangladesh. We will have some Q&As as well after those two, the Asian block. We will have some polls also about how the project were implemented. So we will have three polls, and we will explain to you how respond to the poll live. We will comment and we will use that poll to guide the discussion. Then we will have a break of 15 minutes. Then we'll have Simeon talking about the WOPs in Africa. Then we will have our partners from Malawi and then from Ethiopia who will present. We will have a second poll about the challenges and the lessons learned. We will have a discussion. Third poll is about the recommendation, and then we will wrap up. Okay, so I will now leave the floor to my floor. I think she's ready. Mai, you can please, you are muted. Please share your screen if you are able to, or indicate
I said
if
I'm
you
not
can.
even going to try. Elisa, if you can please share the screen. I can never share with Teams. Microsoft doesn't like Mac, so that's a challenge.
Sure, Mai, just give me a second and I will share the presentation.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Okay, there. Next slide, please. Sorry, that's October. Sorry. Okay, so just to give a bit of a background, as Anne already said, we started with 3 WOPs, one with Chittagong Wasa of Bangladesh, and we had Suez, India as mentor. Second one would be Kulna Wasa, again of Bangladesh, and we have Pidam Kota Surabaya of Indonesia as mentor. And then the last would be Da Nang Water Supply Company of Vietnam with Manila Water Company of the Philippines. So we started with these 3 WOPs. Next slide, please. So just for each one, we showed this to you before. We started the diagnostic visit in November of 2019. We managed to have a mentee visit in March of 2020, just before lockdown. Unfortunately, after that, everything got locked down in Asia. We had identified 4 working areas for this particular WOP. There's non-revenue water, billing and collection, customer service, and IT GIS to support all 3, actually. That was the idea of Suez. Unfortunately, because of the severe lockdowns in Bangladesh, Chittagong Wasa found it very difficult to continue. They had no offices for several months, and in the end, they had to play catch up with their day jobs, they claim, and so this particular work just was not a top priority. As a result, we had no choice but to cancel the WOP in the first quarter of 2021. Next slide, please. The second one would be with Kulna Wasa, again of Bangladesh, and Pidam Kota Surabaya of Indonesia. And as you can see, this is a very challenging WOP because they only managed, the partners only managed to meet once. The mentee visit, which was supposed to be done in early 2020, was caught up in the lockdowns, and therefore Kulna did not even have the opportunity to visit Indonesia, Surabaya, for the mentee visit. But despite that, from April of 2020, we pivoted to online work, and kudos to both teams of KWASA and PIDAM Surabaya, because they both really put their heart and soul into this WOP. And you can see that in the two working areas, there are quite a number of accomplishments. I don't have to read through that. You see it for yourself. I also wanted to point out that we do meet online every month for each working area. And again, kudos to the teams from both sides who were all too willing to really continue with the WOP even on an online arrangement. And I must say it has worked particularly well. You will hear later on of some of these things from Managing Director of KULNA, Mr. Abdullah. Next slide, please. Next slide, Elisa. Okay. This is the third WOP. Oh, sorry. Backtrack. The third WOP. The third WOP is with Da Nang of Vietnam and Manila Water. This particular WOP has also accomplished quite a lot. And I'd like to point out that, in fact, this WOP was very ambitious because it worked on many things. So they identified 4 full working areas with 4 different teams that dealt with each of the working area. Non-revenue water, customer service, asset management, and HR development. Also together, just like KWASA and Surabaya, we pivoted to online work from April of 2020. And both teams, once again, very committed to the program. Monthly meetings with each of the working area teams on both sides. And so this has really worked quite well. Again, I don't have to read through. But I wanted to focus on the fact that both the WACO and KULNA WASA put in their own money to make things work. In the case of KULNA, they put in their own money to operationalize the DMAs, buying all the equipment required for the district metered areas that had to be established and piloted under the WOP. There were 2. And in the case of the WACO, they did the same thing, but on top of that, they also paid completely, fully for establishing and operationalizing a customer service center. So that they did out of their own funds. And you will note that in these 2, non-revenue water and customer service for the WACO, these 2 working areas had really achieved quite a lot. I must say, though, that asset management and human resources development, while some achievement has also been made, I'd like to point out that these 2 particular working areas may need a little bit more of hand-holding, because unlike the traditional working areas of NRW and basic operations, asset management and HRD are quite new for utilities, for mentee utilities, and it's also quite new at least for Asia, as a working area. So the nuances and the requirements, the technical requirements for each of these was a little bit more difficult to get into, despite and in spite of the commitment of both partners. And of course, it didn't help that we couldn't visit again after the mentee visit was completed in January of 2020. So I just wanted to point out those 2, that these types of working areas, which is a little bit more esoteric, if you will, for lack of a better word, which is outside of the nitty-gritty of NRW management, this needs a little bit more of hand-holding from the mentors and a little bit more of time, I think. Overall, the experience was quite good on these 2 WOPs. And as mentioned earlier, the online work and keeping in touch with the teams every month is, I think, something that we should continue to do moving forward, even in future WOPs, because it really helps address difficulties in a very timely manner, and also trying to to gauge whether the mentees are able to catch up with what the mentors are trying to teach. So with that, I leave both the WACO and KWASA to provide their own perspectives. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you very much, Mai. Yeah, we are going to have the opportunity to discuss more in detail the achievements and the challenges for those two WOPs. And I would like to give the floor, and thank you also for keeping the time. I'm going to give the floor now to our partners in Da Nang for their presentation. I don't know who is going to present there.
Dom, go ahead, Dom.
Oh, you are muted.
Dom, you are muted, Dom.
Oh, okay. I see she's sharing her screen, but we can't hear. Can you unmute your microphone? I think you are. Yeah.
Dom, we can't hear you. Can you check your microphone?
I think she is unmuted, but maybe there is a problem with. Yeah, she's unmuted, but we can't hear.
So maybe we go first to Kulna.
To Kulna, because I think Mr. Abdullah is ready. Okay, let's do that. Let's give Dawako more time to make sure the settings are correct, and let's switch back to Kulna in that case. But then we will need them to unshare the screen, right? Yeah, but maybe. Elisa, can we override them?
Operator can deal with that. Elisa, you can do that on your own.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to kick her out from the meeting, unfortunately, and then maybe. Okay, did we manage? Veronica is sharing her screen now. Okay, fantastic. It worked. All right.
Okay, now we are going to have a presentation from Bangladesh, from Kulna, from Mr. Abdullah. I think he is ready.
Yeah.
Are
Thank
we?
you
Yeah.
very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please, the floor is yours.
This is Mohammed Abdullah, Managing Director, Kulna Wasa. So, as from our facilitator, is my already mentioned about our WOP activities and progress. You know, we have worked under two main working areas: non-revenue water management and customer accounts management. Under these two activities, actually, we already heard that due to pandemic situation, actually the KWASA team could not visit Indonesia. So from April 2022 actually to September 2021, we conducted our programs through online and sometimes also online platforms to training and fieldwork. All these activities were conducted. Next. We can move to next slide. Yeah. So here we have shown our main achievements under working area 1, that is under W management. Under this working area, we have established two pilot DMS. Location 1 is Tutpada, consisting 10998 customers, and second location is Bastohara, were 950 customers under that DMA. And for this purpose, KEWASA formed KEWASA NRW team with all 19 members from KEWASA. And KEWASA also gained substantial knowledge in DMA design, proper water balance calculation, and NRW monitoring. And we have also understood about the improved network, including the installation of equipment like data loggers, boundary valves, and pressure meters in these two pilot DMS. And we have also gained knowledge and experience in the confirmation of DMA boundaries with hydraulic modeling. Moreover, the development and implementation of standard operating procedures, that is SOPs, for DMA establishment and management, we have also achieved these. And lastly, under this working area, completed customer survey and updating of customer records in the pilot DMS. So these are the main achievements under the working area 1, which is NRW management. Under this working area, we have established 2 DMS and also operation and maintenance activities were done. Next slide. Next. So these are the second working area, the main achievements under this customer accounts management. We have successfully procured smart meter reading apps with mentors' guidance on technical specifications. Our team also gained knowledge on the use of smart meter reading apps and its functionalities. Under this program, about 26 field workers who have got the training for using smart meter reading, and also our 6 officials who are controlling the system. They have also got the training under these meter reading apps. And successful use and application of smart meter reading in the pilot areas with 4,500 customers starting in September 21. But I can announce here that after September, in the next month in October, November, and December, so we have made a substantial progress to cover these meter reading application apps in other areas customers. So in the month of January, in fact, we have covered about 80% of our total customers to bring under this customer meter reading apps. And we have developed a consumption unit through these meter reading apps, which is really substantial for our financial progress as well. So we have also conducted survey and replacement of multimeters in pilot areas to ensure proper meter reading and improved tariff collection. I can mention that under these 2 DMS, actually, the total customer was 2,978. Out of this, we had found during survey about 300 meters were not working properly. So we rectified those meters and our consumption has been increased due to proper meter function and proper meter reading. We have also gained knowledge in the preparation of financial reports, billing and collection reports, analysis of customer payment patterns, visualization of financial data resulting in improvement of collection efficiency and billing rate by 10% as on October. But if we consider the December report, actually this efficiency of collection and billing rate has been increased nearly 20%. Next slide. So these are the challenges we faced. Actually, both the mentee and mentors faced these challenges due to mainly this pandemic situation. And because of that, mentee visit was not conducted, and constant lockdown to the COVID-19 pandemic limited the movement of staff and made fieldwork challenging. NRW monitoring, meter reading, survey of customers. These were the fieldwork, so we had to face a lot of challenge during pandemic situation. So that's why finally we shift to online activities of water operation partnership required through internet connections. So actually, Khulna, sometimes we faced due to strong internet connections, we faced difficulties. And fieldwork required the strict observance of health protocols. We know that during pandemic situation, we have to follow wearing mask, hand gloves, keeping social distance, and using hand sanitizer. Keeping all these health protocols, we conducted the zero pressure test at the field and also customer survey done at the field level and also interaction with the customers under the 2 DMS in the pilot areas. And leak detection training, actually we had a program to undergone that training, but unfortunately due to pandemic situation, inability of mentors and mentees, this training was not possible to conduct. Actually, the main issue we have to mention, they are the challenges which we have faced from the beginning, high level of NRW and lack of technical capacity on DMA management, and lack of repair and meter installation. So through these actually activities between the mentor and mentees, our people, the team who actually consisted for this purpose, we have learned a lot to improve these areas which we faced difficulties. And difference, another important and difficulties we faced, that the difference between the 2 platforms of database main server, that is the mentors server was actually Oracle system and KWASA server was MySQL. So initially we faced a lot of trouble to have a common platform, but finally subsequently the mentor advised us to overcome this, and finally we have implemented our smart meter reading apps, which we are now utilizing almost full-fledged for our 80% customers. And one training, online training, we have also contacted with sincere contribution and participation from the mentor side. So next slide. So this slide actually we have reflected the success factors behind these WOP activities, and we had a strong commitment from KWASA side management. Actually, being a managing director, I took lead of this commitment, and due to this strong pandemic situation in Bangladesh, and particularly in Khulna, we actually overcome so many challenges as we have already reflected and mentioned. Buy-in of KWASA management and personnel for the WOP process, and we had also very strong willingness and enthusiasm of KWASA authority and its personnel to embrace change and implement DMA establishment, zero pressure test, smart meter reading apps, and online posting of customer bills software. And we had also faced problems that for the procurement of KWASA of required equipment for DMA establishment, particularly pressure meters, batteries of flow meters, catalogers, and dedicated PC which is used for analysis and reporting of NRW. KWASA engaged the technical team and IT personnel and other relevant officers to provide technical and financial support to the activities under the WOP to ensure its success within this time frame. And mentors, Pedam, Kota Surabaya, and the facilitator Waterlinks provided us and continuous support and cooperation for conducting training as well as fieldworks through online communication platform. So I would like to mention that GOP's financial assistance and online monitoring for the periodical progress as well as implementation of the WOP, and timely response by the mentor on the feedback sent by the mentee in spite of pandemic situations. So thank you very much for participation in this presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. MD. I have some questions, and I'm sure others will have also some questions. Maybe during the discussion, we could have also a word from the mentor, or do you want to have it now, Mai?
Yeah, I was going to suggest to at least hear from the mentor at this point. They were supposed to also talk about the challenges and success.
Okay. So, Kota Surabaya, if you can take the floor now.
Mai, maybe Wapi or Bimo. Wapi and Bimo are both present, but not Alvin. Sorry.
So your call, Bimo or Wafi, just 2 points, your thoughts on challenges and your thoughts on success factors.
Yes, Mai. This Bimo. Mai, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you,
I can
Mai.
hear you. Okay.
I think the main success factor for this program, I think the leadership of commitment and leadership of Mr. Abdullah. I think it is the main success factor for this program. And also Kuasa engage the best IT personnel and officer that they having strong skill and knowledge to support this program. From many success factor, I think this is the main success factor that we feel it is very important to do the program to do the success of this program. I think like this, maybe Mr. Wafi also have a comment.
And
Thank you very much. I can say an additional for the success factor of this program is we can see that there is a strong commitment of the facilitator from Waterlinks, and also Minty is the best, and also from the mentor. So, and the second is the Minty is have a high spirit of to learn and many things, and then also the Mentee is very enthusiastic to do the trial and error, because to the zero pressure test they are doing a second or 3 times until they are success. I think this my edit from me additional success factor. Thank you very much.
thank you, Bimo and Wafi. What about challenges? If you have thoughts on that.
Yes, ma'am. I think like other activity in this during this pandemic, we cannot do this pandemic. We cannot come to the location and to this travel restriction. And I think sometimes we face the internet connection was problematic also in Indonesia. All activity are shifting to online and all must be done with the internet. This is, I think, one of the challenges that we face to do the program.
Okay, thank you very much for those interventions. It's very interesting, and I will have also some questions to Kota Surabaya, to Bimo and Wafi about their own experience as mentors. Yeah, and there are already some very interesting lessons to learn from this case. I think now we will try to connect with Dawaku again. Can you just call them and maybe moderate this?
Sure, we'll do. Dom, are you around?
Yes.
Can you try to
you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Yes. Thank you.
Try sharing
yes.
screen?
Good afternoon, everyone. Now I would like to have some comments from our course. After the diagnostic visits from 6 to 11 October 2019, we to for main cooking area for
just
to be implemented in the WOP. The first, non-revenue water management. The second, access management. The third, customer service, and the fourth, human resource development. And after implementation, we have some main achievement in the first working area, non-revenue water management. We reduce successfully non-revenue water level in the 2 pilots DMI in Haichau, based on 3% targets as follows. DMA 4 bond 10 from original non-revenue water of 43% in October 2019 to reduce 15% by end of February 2021. And in DMA 4 bond 11, which original non-revenue water 28% in October 2019 to about 20.76% at the end of February 2021. And afterwards, we gained the knowledge and experience on proper water balance calculation, delineation of DMA boundary with hydraulic modeling in pilot site, and conduct of zero pressure test. And in the second working area, customer service, we create and operationalize a customer call center with complete equipment, including hiring of staff, and we have developed SOP for receiving and monitoring customer complaints and action, FAQ on WOP operation and customer service standards and protocol. All intended to improve customer engagement, and we have established a monthly computerized monitoring report system for complaint and action taking, and we have conducted the first customer service satisfaction survey in Hai Châu district. And in the third working area, assess management, we have gained knowledge on the 10 basic steps of assessment management planning, including appreciation of the importance of asset management as part of the overall effective management and operation of a water utility. We have completed the review of current WOP asset management policy and manual in order to identify ways for an improved asset management program, and completed the preparation of asset condition reports or condition assessment report CAR for Cầu Đỏ water treatment plant, and the report lists all assets in this water treatment plants with complete information such as assess ID and cost, description, year installed, type, criticality, condition grade, and performance status. And in the final working area, human resource development, we has developed WOP organizational KPIs and business efficiency metrics. We has complete WOP bachelor, political, economics, social, technology, environmental, and legal, and the matrix work and customer profiles. We have gained knowledge on goal setting and total management system, and we gain knowledge on training needs assessment process, and completed the initial exercise on TNAs with the assistance from mentor. And we see some challenges in implementation of WOPs. That's the COVID-19 pandemic affected implementation of more field activity, thus the shift to online WOP activity implementation from April 2020, and the progress of WOPs related activity were affected by lockdown and travel restriction, and the internet connection in Northwoods on the time that online meetings are affected. And and there are some assess factor to improve the activity is the commitment and support of DAWCO management. The second is the force of team leader and member of DAWCO to carry out the activity, and the good support of WOP, Waterlin and mentor, and we the mentor expertise and experience has enriched our course. Yes. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you, Dunk.
I'm sure, Anne, if Manila Water is here, but Elisa, sorry, but put up the slide again because the challenges and success factors are actually there. They had submitted it earlier, but I'm not sure if anyone from Manila Water is here because quite a number of people in Manila Water are down with COVID, with Omicron. So a lot of people, our numbers are spiking. So quite a number of people have not been able to go to work. So just to check if anybody from Manila Water is around.
Mai, can we call on Mai? Mai? Okay,
Hi,
Mai
I'm here.
Okay, great. So
I'm also sick, Miss Mai, but
I
know.
So ayan, so I'm just wearing a mask. So yeah, so I got this material from Cree, and I agree with them. So basically, the challenges would primarily be the onset of the pandemic, because during the start of the program, we were anticipating that this would be a hybrid format wherein there would be on-site learning that will happen and shadowing that will happen, as well as classroom, and then just a little probably of online. And the online would happen because of the distance component, not because of the COVID component. So that was the initial expectation during the start of the program. But what happened, as we all know, was that the pandemic happened, and then everything became online all of a sudden, and we have to make do with that limitation. So that is one challenge. And then the other challenge, as you know, is the language. Okay, so we have different, although we use English as a medium, usually there's a translator in the middle, and then the translator translates for the group. Okay, so well, it consumes time, and it also, even if there's a translator, we still see constraint happening as we see the homeworks coming in. So there needs to be a lot of clarification and sometimes a take two of the homework. Okay, just to further clarify what the instructions are and what are the expected outputs. So language barrier is a given. Okay, but we tried our best. We tried our best. And then there is the, as mentioned, the compounded adjustment to the new normal, because this is not what we expected during the start of the program. So that is the challenge. And then for the success factors, so despite the challenges mentioned, we saw the commitment of the team. So
next
even
slide,
if
Lisa, sorry.
Yeah.
Next slide, please.
So even if there were call outs, they were very open to feedback. The WACO group is very open to feedback, and we appreciate that. They did not take it against us when we give feedback about the output, and they were willing to do things again, okay, to review and just revise a bit. the programs. And then we also have the support of their management. And even if it's very early, sometimes there's a miscom on the time. We set it at 8 o'clock, but apparently it's 8 o'clock Manila and 7 o'clock Vietnam. So they were able to adjust. Okay, we have to reschedule, and they were very understanding of that. Because sometimes we miss out on that time component. Here you will see that the mentor's perspective, there's commitment and dedication from at least from our perspective, this is something that we see as important. They were able to achieve much on the NRW and customer service side because we saw the commitment to really implement something. They really want an output. So here, as mentioned earlier, the key success factors, identified output and expectations, clear timelines, open communication lines, and openness to feedback, detailed understanding of mentee situation, customized approach, and results-based assessment. There. Thank you.
Thank you, Mai. And if I may add at this point, I alluded to it earlier when I said that, non-revenue water and customer service are a little bit easier to work with than asset management and human resource development, for the simple reason that, the standard operating procedures are templated, and anywhere in the world the template can work because you're dealing with equipment. But in asset management, as well as in human resources development, you need to get into, the nitty-gritty of the organizations itself. What is their priority? What needs to be done? What do they want to? How do they wish to go about this? So that's why I say it's a little bit more esoteric, more difficult to work with than the standard technical subjects like non-revenue water management. So this, I think I could clearly see is a big difference between those working areas in terms of achievements. But again, kudos to both teams of the WACO as well as Manila Water for really, in spite and despite of the language barriers and the difficulty of working online, quite a lot has still been achieved in these two working areas, despite these challenges. And we are hoping that in the medium term, they will be able to continue with the work on those two particular work areas and build on it. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all the presenters. Also a very interesting case from Da Nang. So now I would like to have a short Q&A sessions already on those two cases. So please, if you have some question, raise your hand. It's the icon on the top. And then I will give you the floor. And I can already, okay, I can see Simeon has a question. Then I have also other question I will take over. Okay, so let's start with Simeon. You raised your hand. Jose Luis as well. Okay, let's start with Simeon and then Jose Luis and then others.
Thank you, and thanks to the presenters and the comment from Mai. And I will pick my question right from the end of the comment of Mai for us to think whether it is concerning the WOP, given the two cases we have on hand and the working areas which were selected. Should we definitely say that when conducting WOPs, which are a relatively short-term action, should we not take care of the working area identified because when we look at a an area like human resource development or asset management in a company, we realize, however we do, in a company, in a utility, to assess the impact of human resource development, it takes time. Maybe the area, and this is my suggestion, maybe the area should be the human resource assessment, or what, just limited in how, what are the main, in terms of human resource, what are the constraints of the company to take off, to really implement their work, and that could sit in the time frame of a work. And yes, just a reflection. And
okay, yeah, it's more like a recommendation than a question. Huh? The idea, if I understand, that as my noticed that commented that human resources, it's a difficult working area for WOP. Simeon is commenting that maybe just doing an assessment of the current situation of the HR in the short term of the WOP would be probably enough, and not to be too ambitious on that working area. This is what I understand from the comment. Mama, you want to respond?
Yeah.
Because that's more question for you, maybe. Yeah.
No, so just in response to Simeon, I agree that we need to limit it. I agree, but even when you limit it, it's still a little problematic. And I call on Mai, because Mai, this is her expertise, and I learned a lot from her on this point. We started out with identifying key performance indicators for the WACO as an organization. But if you do it right, you need to do the KPIs, not just from organizational standpoint, departmental standpoint, and then individual standpoint. So these are three different layers, which is really, really tough to do over a period of the WOP, not to mention it's also online. So I think, these concepts of HR is something very new to utilities. So when Manila Water came in and had, all of these things about the KPIs, and not just from this, so we ended up identifying KPIs for the organization. And then we had to stop. We couldn't go to the level of the department, and more so the level of the individual. So maybe I asked Mai for some thoughts. If we do, again, something on HR, what can be done in a span of 8 months?
HR nowadays, HR is really seen as something more strategic and not transactional. So what we tried to share with the WACO is the strategic side, because everybody else is familiar with the transactional side of HR, which is the giving of benefits, payroll, etc., employee activities. So what we shared was something that which we thought was really value adding and that management would appreciate. Okay, because when you say customer service, NRW, this translates to revenues and cost savings, which impacts the net income of the company. So it's easier for management to appreciate the endeavors in these departments. But HR is a support group. How can management then appreciate the role of HR from a strategic perspective? Therefore, what we tried to share with the WACO is something wherein goal setting is important, wherein the goals would translate to metrics, and there will be line of sight from organizational and business strategy going to the department, to the individual. Parang how does the organizational strategy translate to the department and the individual so that you as an employee, you as a department, know what your contribution is to the net income, to the revenue, to the reputation of the company, to stakeholders. So that was what we're trying to share. It may sound ambitious given the timeline, but well, at least we achieved the essence of at least how to create KPIs at the organizational level. And then if there's because you think of it as a domino, it's a sequential thing. We cannot proceed first with going straight to individual performance management or KPI without starting with the organizational and business strategy. So that's what we're trying to share. Let's start with the strategy. And then once we know the strategy, how do we translate this to performance from the department to the individual level? That's why it's called human resources. How does human resource impact or contribute to the organizational strategy? So that's what we're trying to say. It may sound ambitious and maybe it will take more than 1 year given all the challenges mentioned. Pandemic, a little bit on the time between the two countries or the language barrier. But I think it's worth it because it's my first time to hear that this is something new in the water utility industry. But what we just shared with the WACO is the norm. Sorry, my camera is off. The norm for all HR groups in the world. That's where HR is right now. So for learning that this is something new for the utilities, I think we should try to catch up because this what we just shared with the WACO is what HR really is doing in all other industries, not only in one country, but in the world. So the Society for Human Resource Management in the US and all other HR societies, the talk is about being strategic and how to add value to the business. Okay, so I think it's worth discussing this. It may sound ambitious, but it is what should be taught to utilities as far as HR is concerned.
Okay,
And
thanks.
that's why we will use Manila Water as a teacher and in future.
Absolutely. No, I was going to comment already the same. Like it's nice to see somebody so passionate about human resource strategy, but it is exactly what WOPs are about. Even if you didn't achieve to go to the level of individual planning on HR objectives, but at least you planted the seed of the global understanding of what a human resource strategy is and give exposure to DAWACO on that aspect. So it's very, very important as well. It shouldn't be seen as an underachievement. I think it's an achievement per se. And also now we know to which mentor we have to go if we have a WOP on HR. So it's also very useful for that. Thank you very much. Okay, let me give the floor to Jose Luis, who had also some questions, I think.
Thank you very much, Anne, and good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I'm very pleased to see you again since our meeting in October. I'm very glad to see that also in this short period of time there has been progress and achievements. I have a very quick question. It's more interest or curiosity to know from the mentee side, from Da Nang, DAWACO, and Kulna, whether there have been any provisions made at the utility level to build on the lessons learned and the achievements of this project, to internalize the work that has been done in order to develop an action plan to follow up on these working areas and working tracks. So we all know that projects are limited in time, that there are limited resources. So how are you planning forward and what are the next steps that you are considering to now internalize the work without the support from the mentor or the facilitator? How are you planning to take over? That would be my question for both Kulna and Danang. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, José Luis. Let me just see if there is any other question from the audience. I don't think I see any other hand raised. I had also some similar question about maybe also the scaling up of what has been achieved, because actually for DAWACO and for Kulna, the same approach was adopted, which was to select pilot zones and to work around the non-revenue water challenges for those two zones, establishing DMAs and work with the DMAs on the water balance and so on. So my question is along those lines of how do you want to continue this work, and especially like do you have a plan to scale up to other zones, establishing more DMAs to other pressure zones or neighborhoods? So maybe we will take first a response from Mr. Abdullah, and then a short response also from Kota Surabaya. And then I will also have some question about the mentoring approach here. Please, Mr. Abdullah.
Thank you very much. Actually, this is a very important question for continue the success or to make it sustainable for future. Because I think we have already prepared with the consultation of water links. This is also aware that we have prepared a plan that is the medium-term action plan, where we have reflected the scaling up of the already activities we have done for scaling up. For example, initially we have established 2 DMS pilot areas, but for next 3 years we have also made our action plan. So every year we have included say 8 DMS or 10 DMS. We have already prepared a definite and specific schedule and program, so that we can actually the main purpose of the DM establishment is the NRW reduction. So since we have established only 2 pilot DMS, so the other DMS in our distribution network we will have to cover gradually. So that's why within the next 3 years we have already prepared, we have worked out a plan. And also another important event is that to actually develop and apply monitoring tools, so that our these achievement or success, the level where we have achieved it, must be progressed further to move ahead, so that we also are having some continuous monitoring system, so that it will be scaled up as well as the achieved performance or the success factors can be make sustainable. So these are the short comments or observations from KEWASA. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this encouraging response. And I think the word sustainability is important here. That you have the right tools now to make those changes sustainable and scaled up. So that's a very good thing. I will maybe DAWACO, you want to say a few words about this as well, like how you're gonna make those changes sustainable, scaling up the DMA approach. Dung, you want to respond? I'm not sure if we can have somebody from the WACO responding on that. I see them on the screen.
Dom?
Mai, oh, you want to?
In any case, let me respond on their behalf because they have identified. So we have prepared together with mentor and mentee the medium-term plan, and in the medium term, they have identified another 5 DMAs that they wish to complete and establish hydraulically. I wanted to point out that while the WACO has identified 48 existing DMAs, they want to check each one to move from mechanical to electronic. They want to be able to, this is the start of going digital. They want to level up and really install electromagnetic meters for them to be able to manage the DMAs from wherever they are. So that's the start. So in the medium term, they plan to have at least 5 on NRW. On customer service, they as mentioned, they already have a fully functioning customer service department, not call center, rather a customer service call center, and that call center will continue its work, and they intend to have a survey year on year in different parts of the WACO. They've completed in one branch, the central Da Nang, so they will conduct across the WACO over the coming years.
Yeah, I wanted to ask something specific about the customer survey. They mentioned it was the first customer survey ever for the company, or just for this particular zone?
No, ever. So they did not have a call center before. They did not have customer surveys before. And using templates provided by Manila Water, they managed to do that. So they developed a customer survey questionnaire with the help of Manila Water, translated this to Vietnamese, and they did, in fact, something beyond what Manila Water had suggested, because Manila Water surveys out of 1.2 million customers or so of Manila Water customers, 1 million customers of Manila Water, they survey a few thousand. In the case of the WACO, they wanted to survey everybody. So in Hai Chow, for instance, there were 3,000 customers. They surveyed 1,000. That's a lot. And Manila Water, in fact, told them, you don't need to do that many. But because it was the first one, they were quite excited. So they're considering to do this annually, and it will be the WACO-wide. In asset management, they started, the only thing they completed was the listing of the assets, or the conditional asset report for one big, the pilot was the biggest treatment plant, which supplies 90% of their water supply. So they finished the conditional assessment report for that. But then to turn that into a full asset management program, there are many, many steps. And that's what I mean, that it's not a simple win. We get to do one thing, but to expect that they will have a fully functioning asset management program after a year and a half or 20 months, I mean, no way. In HR, they managed to do the KPIs for the organization, which again is a fantastic exercise for them. But to expect that they will be able to drop this down over the period of the WOP to the level of the department and the individual is a little bit too ambitious. So they plan to do that in the next 3 years. Oh, okay, by the way, on HR, there's also a training needs analysis, but as pointed out by Mai, before you can even begin to talk about training needs, you need to first identify the roles and responsibilities of those people and the contribution of each of them to the overall strategic objective of the corporation, right? So that's why it's not as simple as developing a TNA, because you don't know. You have to first do the analysis from the top. So that's a little bit more complex than we had imagined. And so they will continue that in the medium term.
Okay, I was going to ask, like, the HR also will be included in the medium term, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, so in the medium term, each of them, KWASA and the WACO, have agreed to continue with the working areas that they have been working on and building from there. So and they're focusing their medium term on those only.
Okay, all right. Thanks for the clarifications here. I have a question first, maybe for Mr. Abdullah, and then we can also ask the same question to Dawako or to Mai in that case. It's about the motivation of the staff. First, from the Menti side, I think there were two things that were really pointed. Was the leadership, the importance of the leadership, that we had really full support from the management, from both in Khulna and in Da Nang. But I was wondering about also the motivation and the enthusiasm of the staff at the Menti, because this WOP program came also maybe as an additional work. So how did you manage to get your staff on board and collaborative and enthusiastic? So maybe first, Mr. Abdullah, because you, as a managing director, you are on the front on that issue.
Thank you, Sen. Actually, this is really important for an organization. So actually, these activities are additional assignment for each and every employees of Khulna Wasa. But from the very beginning, when we actually started this work program, then from the very beginning, when we selected these two working areas, I personally selected the relevant persons relating to these two working areas. And then initially we had several meetings, then and also specific assignment to those personnel. So then they were also motivated, and actually it was our common commitment and also inspiration from Kewasa that we actually want to make our improved performance of our organization. So from this basic commitment and willingness, so through my leadership, so these personnel who are related with the WOP activities are also now, so there it is the common commitment for the organization for the improvement of our operational activities. So that is the way, so all my relevant personnel who are relevant to the WOP activities, they are working, I should say, efficiently and sincerely. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for wise words on staff involvement and how to engage them from the beginning also of a project as well, and picking the right staff and making them accountable, I guess, on the results. Do you want to, maybe Dawako wants to add something on that? Or Mai, again, if you have some insight on that aspect for Dawako?
Dom, can you hear me? Dom? She's not listening to me.
Sorry, it's visible. Ah, okay.
Dom, can you hear me, Dom?
Okay, doesn't matter. It's fine. I wanted to ask something for the mentors this time, and then we will go to the poll and make a break. Short answers, please, for the mentors in those two WOPs. Switching online, so it has been mentioned by all as a challenge. Even if in some cases the mentors already plan to have some online activities because of the distance, how it was mentioned, but hybrid moving to fully online support is a big challenge. I just wanted to hear was it much more work for the mentors to switch to online support? From Waterlinks, we know already that yes, it was much more work in terms of coordination and facilitation. But was it the case also for the mentors? Did they have to adapt their approach, develop lots of material to be shared online rather than shared on the ground, you know, orally and directly? So maybe Manila Water and then Kota Surabaya. From Manila, we have Wafi and another gentleman, I think.
No, for Manila, it's Mai.
Sorry, yeah.
So Mai, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. So for Manila Water, we didn't have to create much materials because we have ready materials which we usually use in meetings. And since this is something that we do regularly, we really have materials that we just need to pluck from one deck to another and then consolidate for the WACO. But you know, the challenge about going online is sometimes you have meetings that are not only full in a given day, but they overlap. And even if you're online, sometimes you receive a call to go into another meeting. So that's the challenge of going online because you have three overlapping meetings in 1 hour. So the focus is sometimes diffused. And even if you want to focus on the online, sometimes you will get a call from another meeting. They will try to pull you out. That's the trend now, but if we want to focus, you know, it really that is the advantage of having a face-to-face lecture or session wherein you go there or be here because you're there, you're fully present there. So they cannot, if they pull you out, maybe that's just maybe 10% that it'll likely happen versus when you go online wherein they have that liberty to pull you out or tell you to be late to another meeting, etc. That's the challenge of the online system today. But as far as materials are concerned, not really a problem.
Okay, yeah. But because also Manila was already involved in many WOPs and exchange, you as a mentor. So that's why you were, maybe you had already this material prepared and so on. I was wondering for Kota yeah, one thing also on the challenges for the online thing that I noticed from your previous intervention, that it added on the difficulty of the language barrier, of course, because when you have a face-to-face discussion with a translator present, it's much easier, I guess, than online, where you have a lot of lost pieces of communication because of a language barrier, in addition to the other challenges. So maybe from Kota Surabaya, I would like to have also a response on that, and if they can also specify if it was their first WOP as a mentor.
Yes, sure. This is our first experience in the regional water operator partnership. So our extra work is sure this is a language. We need to provide some document in English. This is not easy for us, but we try to do it. And then we also have to learn that before we doing an assist, we need to learn the situational work in Kulna. We also try to open the map. What is the Kulna? How is the pipeline? And so we can imagine when we discuss with them, we can imagine that this is dimension on the discussion. So this is hard to us, but we are happy we have this experience, I think. Thank you.
Okay.
Maybe I can add some comment.
Yes, please.
Hello, my name is Justi from PDM Surabaya. I work as an RW mentor, and we know that we did some mentoring beside this partnership, we did some mentoring in another PDIM or another water utility in Indonesia, but we did zero pressure test in offline. I've been mentioned a lot of time that doing zero pressure test in online is something new for us, and I'm impressed that we can do it. We can do it, and because of Kultna have a good understanding and also persistent, and that is a good point. It's a good point from them, and after that we establish zero standard procedure of NRW for calculation and how to establish the MR. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for this intervention. So it's interesting to see that the learning curve was mutual, also from the mentor side, going through those challenges that has taught some new tools and new approaches for both. My one last word, then I would like to do the poll. So Veronica, be ready. We will launch the poll after my intervention, then we will break a bit. Mai.
Just a quick one, and I think I wanted to point out that for Manila Water, the learning curve was not as big as or not as high as Kota Surabaya, because Manila Water has operations in Vietnam, so they are very familiar with how Vietnamese utilities operate. So that helped a lot. And for Kota Surabaya, there was that learning curve because this is their first international mentoring experience. But I must congratulate them because while they say that it's their first, I mean, they really put their heart and soul, and you can see the results. It's been fantastic. And they also say they don't speak English, but you can tell now, Anne, that they actually can.
Yes, they can, and we will remember them also for new WOPs in the future as a new mentor on the block. Okay, thanks. All right, so I would like to have a poll now. So Veronica, please take the floor and guide us, and then we will break for 10 minutes. Veronica.
Thanks, Anne. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. So I welcome you to the first poll that we have prepared for you. And this is an interactive activity, and we invite you all to join. I would now kindly like to request Elisa to post in a chat a link through which you can join this Mentimeter quiz. That's one option, how you can join the poll. The other option is for you to scan the QR code located here on the right side, or you can simply go to www.menti.com and enter the following code. So we will wait here for a moment to allow you to join the quiz. So I will just repeat, the code is 59448669 for those who are joining.
Maybe we need to see the QR code as well because we don't have it on the screen. Huh?
It's in the chat.
It's in the chat. I don't. Okay. So they have to click and then they will have the QR code to flash?
Yes. But can you
okay.
also see my screen?
No, we can't. Yeah, that's why I was saying we don't have your screen.
Okay, let me reshare.
Voila. Yes, that's what I wanted. Yes. Okay, so that you can flash this with your phone, or you can click on the link indicated. So give a few minutes to do this, and then we will display the poll on the shared screen as well. Is there, Mike? Can you tell us? Are you able to connect to the poll, for example? No, Simeon. Are you able to connect to the poll? We have a problem here. Okay, please Yeah, Mai, you have your hand raised.
No, no.
What's it? No, Yoli.
That was earlier, sorry.
Ah, okay, okay.
I tried to use the one in the chat box. I can't connect. So I'm going to use my mobile phone and try to connect.
I can't either. I'll try with the mobile.
Okay, let me try also to go to Menti. Wait, what's the problem here? Instructions. Yeah, Veronica, I'm also trying at the same time. When I click on the link, I'm going to a screen. It shows instructions and a heart. And
Yes,
I'm clicking on the heart, and then it doesn't go for any further.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's good. I see we have people joining us. We have 6 people already. So that's the slide you are supposed to be on when you join following the link.
What's so slow? Why so slow?
It may be, yeah, it seems to be very slow to upload.
We have 10 people already.
I'm using my mobile phone, but still too slow.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's slow. Yeah, the problem is that the application is slow. Okay, maybe we should leave a bit more longer the... Who has been able to join? We have 10 people only. Over how many are we in the meeting today? 29, so we should have more people joining. So there is a problem probably.
Sorry, I can't reach the.
I can
the
see the
website.
question actually.
Okay.
It's too slow on my mobile phone.
And it's too slow on the phone. Alors, okay, Elisa put an alternative for accessing. Ashan say he cannot connect either. Let's wait. Please connect and keep it open. We are going to keep it open during the pause so that it leaves
Now it's
time
okay.
for your computer to upload, maybe.
Now for me it's okay.
I managed.
Okay, I leave a bit more time to people to connect and respond.
Sorry, only one question here, Anne.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
There are 3 questions or 4 questions normally.
And I see there are 11 people, actually 12 people who voted already. So it seems to be working. Maybe we can start with the first question of the poll.
Yeah, we are almost 30 people in the meeting. So it means a lot of people have been able to connect, I think, no? Yes, Mr. Melai.
Hi. Yeah, thanks. I'm going to disconnect now, but please, as suggested, as agreed, feel free to reach out next week, and we'll try to plan some separate meetings with our operations teams. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good meeting. Have an excellent day. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining, and I'll be in touch for sure. Thank you. Have a good day. Okay, I want to comment. Let me comment on the first question. So I see 0 negative response on that very simple question, which was the WOP beneficial for your organization in general? All the people that managed to connect to the poll said yes. So it's a nice it's a nice response. I wanted OFID to see that actually, so it's good. So okay, let's try to the second question.
I couldn't get to the second question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nobody has reached the second question, so let's keep it open. Okay, 1 person managed to. 10. Okay, that's okay. Now we have a little bit. We have some nuances here. Hey, we have to find this person who said no. So did the WOP bring the achievements you were expecting? So out of 14 people, we have a massive yes and 1 no. So that's something that we want also to discuss about, okay, you had expected lots of achievements, I guess, and maybe not all of them were achieved, were reached, which wouldn't be a surprise as well, but that would be interesting to understand which one were not attainable. And my screen is getting totally blurred. I don't know if it is also the same for you.
No, Anne, it's you.
No, okay. I can't. So that's the okay. So I cannot comment because it's also very slow for me. Maybe José Luis, you are still with us. You can maybe, if you have a clear screen, can you comment on that? It should be about. I forgot now about my other questions.
So the slide I'm seeing right now is, did the WOP bring the achievements you were expecting?
Ah, okay, so that's the same. That's still the same.
Yes, and
The
we
next
have
one
an
is
overall
about the knowledge.
positive response.
Winnie, I think you are listening to the radio. Please switch off your microphone. Okay.
And if I may comment, we are on the slide now. Didn't the WOP bring you any new knowledge? And we got a clear yes from the 16 people that are voting. We got 16 responses saying yes.
Okay, I can see that. Okay, so that's also a good, a positive sign. Okay, and please, okay, switch to the last. I think there is one last question.
Yes, the last question. If yes, did your organization put this new knowledge into practice?
Yeah, so that's the last one for the first poll. Let's wait to have people responding. Because of course it's crucial, you know, when we are trying to measure the result, it's not only acquiring new knowledge, well, it is already a very important step for sure, but then the second step is to put this knowledge into practice, to keep it in a general way of asking. And I see that people are responding yes, so that's also a positive sign. And we had already some specific proof of two case from Asia. For example, there was this training on the water balance of a zero pressure test. There was training on the approach and the method, and then it was actually implemented and applied by the team. So that's quite positive in general. So I will now propose to close the poll and to take a 10-minute break. We will have a second poll afterwards. So if you are all okay, we are breaking for 10 minutes. It's 10:38 for me, so 38. We reconvene in 10 minutes at -10. Okay. Okay, all right. So in 10 minutes, don't leave the meeting totally, but let's connect in 10 minutes. Okay, thank you for the first part of the workshop. Thanks.
Thank you, Anne. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
They have started after the second session.
Okay, I think it's time to reconvene. And I would like to, maybe before I forget, but I see that we've lost some people, maybe having a group picture. Thanks, Mai. Okay. Maybe we should wait a little bit more. We are going now to have a presentation from Africa. And I see that we are waiting for people to come back. Especially, I think Simeon is not there anymore, but I see Verson from Blantyre on board, Musa from Sodo, Mr. Balua, and we still have some, I think we are waiting for more people from Malawi as well, and especially Simeon. So I would like maybe to have also a group picture. Yes, Musa, we'll give you the floor once Simeon has done his introduction. And okay, let's still do a first group picture. Please, everybody, put your camera on. And with the magic of Photoshop, we will put everybody on the picture. I did some screenshot already in the first part.
Apologies, Annie. I cannot be seen on the camera because my laptop doesn't have that facility. So unless otherwise, so apologies for that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. It's a shame, but it's okay. I think I still have some old pictures of you, Verson, but I will insert.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Veronica or Elisa, let us know if you are taking a screenshot so that we can have our best smile.
Yes, please smile, everyone.
Okay. Cheers. Okay, I think that should do. And we'll try to have another one along the way when we have more people. Okay, Simeon, you are here. Please switch on your camera so that we can have a screenshot with you. Okay. And then I don't see you yet. No. No. Hello. Okay.
Okay, I can see Simeon now. Shall we take another one?
Yes, do another one? Yeah, maybe. Okay, one,
Okay.
2, 3. Smile. Okay, very good. Okay, thank you. Okay, Simeon. So now we are switching to Africa. Let's see what our partners there have done, have achieved from Ethiopia and Malawi under the coordination of AFWA, the African Water Association. And Simeon will give us an introduction. Simeon, can you share your screen, or you want us to to display your presentation?
I can share my screen.
Please go ahead. The floor is yours. Yeah, it's okay. We have it. Go ahead.
So thank you, Anne. Thanks, everyone. Please, before I go to my presentation, let me first of all make a testimony. I know we already have present a few minutes to let Charles, but let me add a short testimony because Charles was not just a collaborator for me. It was just like a child, and it was part of my history because I joined AFWA as the WOP Africa coordinator, and I was really preparing Charles for that position, given that for a few years I'm now the director of program, and I kept Charles for about 6 years, since 2015, and I was preparing Charles step by step until he was now at the position of the WOP of it coordinator, and there was already another project prepared for Charles to really move in another space. But unfortunately, he died on the feet of WOP of it because suddenly, as we were preparing to go for the final evaluation of the WOP in Blantyre, he just texted me and said he can no more travel because this, and I was already at the airport. It was so sad, but I am still carrying the pain of this loss. And I thank all of you with the great support from GWOPA, from all the colleagues from WOP Africa who are supporting AFWA and myself to carry this funeral of Charles. This is thank you again, and may God bless his soul. Now,
Simeon?
Simeon, we lost you. We cannot hear you.
I see Simeon is still unmuted.
Yeah.
I think he left the meeting. He may come back, I guess, to check if his audio works again.
Yeah. Let's okay, let's give him 1 more minute because I don't want to hold everybody. But we eventually we will start with a presentation from the teams. If Simeon needs maybe a couple of minutes to. So, okay, I would propose maybe Musa, you want to take the floor if you are ready? And we will come back to Simeon as soon as he's capable again.
Okay, possible.
Yes, please. Yes. Okay. You want to share your screen or you want us to put your presentation?
So just, I think it's better if you share it.
Okay. Veronica, that's for Sodo, Ethiopia. You have a presentation already. Okay, please, Musa, you can go ahead.
Okay. So thank you very much. So like Dr. Simon also forwarded his heartfelt regret for the days of unfortunate days of Mr. Charles. So he was, we were working together, a very good work, and we were also friends, talking every day about family matters and so on. Anyways, so we wish him to rest in peace, his soul. So now if I would like to go to, I think you are following me.
Yes, that's okay. We have your presentation now.
Okay.
Can see it on the screen as well?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, so we were working from 2019 to 2021. So on this water operators partnership program. So we met with the WOP team and also the AFWA mentors and other mentees. So in African team, so in different places. So starting from the kickoff to the on-job training we conducted last month, so in Kampala, Uganda. So as of me, so we were working on 3 working areas, so that has been selected together with our mentor, Durban Tikini water unit. So the working areas selected were operation and maintenance, and non-revenue water, and serving these poor households. I think next slide. So next slide, please. So
no, I think there was a slide before that one, no? Before you go to that issue.
Yeah, it's just it's all we have been seeing this many times. The only thing we added is on-job training that is
Yes.
done from Kampala, Uganda. That
Yes.
is the new thing added is on-job training, and I already told you about that one. That's why I wanted to save time.
Okay, go ahead. Yes.
So next slide.
I just want, well, it takes a bit of time. I think there is a slowdown of the internet. Okay. I just wanted to specify something here is that for the two WOPs, there was an additional mentor that jumped in the course of the program. That was Kampala, as you said, Musa,
Yes.
for one training activity.
Yes. So it is on-job training. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, you missed one slide. She I think one slide back.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Can you, voila, the table with the different working areas.
Yes, the table one.
So let's keep that one on the screen. Please go ahead.
Yes, the table one. I need the table one.
It's there now.
No, it's not with me.
Because there is maybe a difference between your computer is maybe a bit slower. This is shared now.
Yeah, now.
We have to wait. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So we can see the three working areas, Musa.
Yeah, okay, I can present it from here, no problem. So, so this slide mainly focuses on main achievements. So we achieved together with our facilitators and mentors on this WOP project, and on working area one. So for clarification, so I have put 3 columns as a working area and main actions proposed. So during this benchmarking visit, and also the main achievements. And on working area one, it's all about operation and maintenance. And in operation and maintenance, we focused on mainly on preparing these standard plans and procedures. So we achieved everything, and then we have also given training to our technical staffs. So those mainly work on this operation and maintenance day to day. So we have developed this emergency plan, standard operation and procedure we don't have before. And then we have developed this standard operation and operation procedures, and technical and safety manuals has been developed. And our technical staffs are now aware of all the plans and procedures developed, and they are following now. So these procedures. On working area 2, so we focused on non-revenue water. So on non-revenue water, so we mainly focused on this using technologies mainly. So using new technologies so we can in the future decrease our non-revenue water. So the thing what we proposed is, for example, to start using these smart water meters, because so if you see, our utility is using old these mechanical water meters. So these mechanical water meters are creating bears, so on readings and so on. So therefore, we wanted to change these mechanical water meters into a more effective, and also we need to use these smart ultrasonic water meters for our customers. Not only for our customers, but also we wanted to use these ultrasonic smart water meters on our sources as a bulk water meter and in DMS, and also inlets and outlets of reservoirs, to have a better water balance model. And the other thing we identified also on non-revenue water is we have plenty of older distribution pipes in the town, especially on the older part of the town. So there are large size and small size pipes which are old, and then we need to replace them. because their design period is over, and so therefore we need to discard them and we need to replace them with a new one, and we have done some of this one. So under non-revenue, so we have achieved a lot of plans that we planned. So the big thing is that we have started a water balance model. So we installed this smart water meters. We are working on this SCADA system. So our SCADA system, I can show you with a photograph, and everything is going well. And we selected DMS and also installed these bulk water meters, and because they are very important for estimation of non-revenue water. So, and we organized also an NRW task force working every day, so in order to reduce NRW. So we finalized also on this project a pilot project of using smart water meters for domestic users, and we installed 200 these smart water meters, and then we are comparing. So we installed these smart water meters side by side with the mechanical water meters. The purpose is that we wanted also to evaluate the efficiency or the accuracy of these smart water meters, and then we have now a record of 3 months from these two, from the smart water meter and from the mechanical water meter, and then we need at least another 3 months, so in order to have a better view of this one. And then we replaced all the pipes, 12 kilometers of all the pipes with a new pipe. So because these old pipes, if I show you the photos of all the pipes, so they are all rusted pipes, and they affect also the quality, and there is also high loss of water in these pipes. So therefore we replace them with a new pipe. So the things that we have doing now is we hired individual consultants which can study our NRW of the utility and revisit our business plan, because our business plan also need to be revisited. And then here also we started a water balance model. So for the last 3 months we are working on this water balance model, even though there are a lot of things we need to improve, so in order to increase the accuracy of the output from a water balance model, because the water balance model relies on the data we input. So therefore we are just working high on this one. So the last working area and where we have worked a lot is expanding services to poor households. Initially our aim was only to connect 100 poor households to our water supply, potable water supply. But now within 2 years what we achieved is 1,125 poor households has been connected to our utility line. The connection fee is free, and almost you can estimate it is like individually, so it is like 6,750 people they have access to potable water. So as you see that in the beginning of our proposal, so we were only focusing on connecting poor households, 100 poor households, but we thought that when we enter to the practical job, we found a lot of poor households, and then connecting 100 poor households is very small. So therefore, so we increased from utilities own budget. So with this project budget also we increased the number of poor households connected to our water supply line. Not only on water supply, so we saw also the difficulties these people facing on sanitation. So therefore now we are constructing 6 communal toilets for these peoples, so that we can improve their sanitation situation too, even though it's not the objective of this project. And then the other thing we have done is we developed 72 rural schemes, because from our previous presentations, so I have told you that so many rural areas has been joined recently to the administrative boundary of Sodo. So these rural peoples, they don't have access to water. So therefore, so we constructed over 72 rural schemes for these peoples, and now around 7,200 individuals are users of these schemes. So we have done also mapping, so these poor households, because it's very important. Now we have the data, so where the poor households live, and also we have the number of these poor households. So therefore it will help us for our next plan. So what we need to plan and work on. And database is also created for this one. We have also given training for these poor households, so especially on conserving water and also on sanitation issues. And this is just to show you one of the maps we have prepared for identifying so these poor households, in which area of Sodo these poor households are located. And I think next slide is, yes, and then this is the database created. Next slide. So I think the one, yes. So this is a database developed. The database, so it is a long, it has so many columns. I only just screenshot some of the columns where these the customers are found. So this is just a next slide, maybe. It's just like to show you, to prove that we have done the things. So the next slide is, so this is just a picture of some of the poor households connected. Yes, a picture of some of the poor households. These are, so the poor households we are, but we focused mainly on, so female-headed poor households. So we focus mainly on over 70% of, so poor houses connected is woman-headed poor households, not male-headed poor households. Next slide. So so the next slide is, this is just to show you, so the toilet, so under construction. So even though it is not so included in our main objectives, but we have added also so sanitation component. So these are, so the communal toilets, so we are constructing for this rural poor households. These are, so the trainings, so we are given for both for these health extension workers and also for poor households. We give training for health extension plus also for rural households. So the next slide is just to prove you where we have developed these rural schemes. So we have rehabilitated and constructed so rural schemes in order to make or to get this potable water supply for rural part of the town, which are mostly newly joined to the town. And next slide, this is the SCADA system we are developing now. So it is we are testing it now, under test. So this is purposely for the NRW. So this SCADA system sends data from all our water sources. So it's connected with the radar system to our office, sends all data to our office, and also it checks also the health of so our boreholes. So everything is checked and everything will be here. So and the next slide is this is just to show you so how we are working on. So with the help of our mentor, so we have started using this water balance model. So this is just to show you. So the water balance model we are using is the one from Iowa. So that is International Water Association, the standard water water balance model. So that is a Excel spreadsheet. So when I go to the challenge we have faced, so when I go to the challenge we have faced, so COVID-19 situation made us to meet our face-to-face, especially so with our mentor, because our mentors were from South Africa, and South Africa is one of the highly affected area with COVID, so with a very limited movement in South Africa. So this thing made us to delay the project a bit. And also, so starting from last year, so the political situation in Ethiopia and made us work in limited time. So because of this state of emergency situation and so on, so it has some impact on the project itself. And so the other thing is, because of this political situation and also COVID situation, there were market inflation. So the budget we initially estimated, and then after these situations, so the market was inflated high. So it affected also our project. And next slide, maybe. So success factors. So if we go to the success factors, so we achieved almost all the objectives set. And in some pointers, so the objectives are achieved over 100%. Like the poor households, you can take as an example. We planned to connect 100 poor households, but what we have done is over 1,125 poor households. Some of the objectives are also achieved over. And so the thing is that the other success factor is we have done something also on the sanitation part. So not only on the water supply part. And success factor, we have gained a lot of knowledge from AFWA and from our mentor, from our international experience visits. So now we had different trainings. We got different trainings from our mentor and also from individual consultants and so on, so that we have gained a lot of knowledge, and now so these knowledges are under application in our utility. And so the project, this WOP project, made our utility to revise its plan every month. So we need to revise because we are facing challenges every time, and then so we need to revise our plans and work or increase our efficiency. And so the big success is also starting of water balance model. So without this water balance model, so we cannot talk about NRW. So therefore, this is a big success of this objective. So after the WOP, so now you can imagine that after the WOP, our utility selected as the best water operator in 2029. Last week, so we received an award from South Nations Nationality People Regional Government, Water, Mines and Energy Bureau. So the best operator of the region. And also our utility becomes the best operator water operator in Ethiopia. So in 2021, so we won Ethiopian award and also we won the regional award. Both the awards are won by. So this is a very big success for our utility, and this happens after we joined this project, after we joined AFWA. So this is a big success for our utility. And lastly, thank you. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Musa. I will have some question, but we will take the question after the two presentations. Now I know Simeon. I'm eager to know more about the award as well, and if Solo maybe is ready to mentor, to become a mentor, then we will discuss that. Now I think Simeon has joined back, so maybe we can ask him to give the overview, and then we will go to Blantyre, and then we will have an overall final discussion. So Simeon, are you ready now?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Ready, thank you. So I got problems of connection after as I was presenting this testimony for late Charles. Now coming to the Africa zone on this WOP, I will first say that it is the first great. It is really the first great experience we have since we started the WOP Africa platform. We work with GWOPA hands in hands through this collaboration, thanks to OFIT. And the two mentees were that Sodo Water that Musa has presented, and Blanta Water Board, while the mentor was Etiquini under the facilitation of AFWA. And the objectives were that we set were these two: to develop the short-term action plan and a medium-term action sustainable improvement plan, and to implement short-term thematic action plans. So we already discussed last time and we realize we always start by this benchmarking visit after identifying the mentor and all the agreement we signed. These activities were implemented, and after the visit, the benchmarking visit, then the mentor went to the mentees, and out of the audit, we identify and agree to work in 3 working area in each of the utility. And concerning Sodo, this were, I'm wondering why my screen, I don't know if you can see my screens nicely, because from my side, everything looks small.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We can read.
Okay. So for Sodo, for Blanta, it was customer care, services, billing and collection, and non-revenue water, while for Sodo, these areas were operation and maintenance, non-revenue water, and expanding service to poor. So the WOPs were splitted in 7 step activities, 1, 2, 3, and there's the 1, 2, 3 were in 2019. We planned 2 activities in 2020, but due to COVID, these activities were delayed, readapted, and one of and as Musa already said it, one of the constraint was because due to COVID, and the impact of COVID in South Africa, our mentor expert could not travel, and this situation is still continue up to now, and that really limited the face-to-face activities. But we learn to adapt and work from using online tools and experts, and we develop also this expertise. That is what we gain from this this project, and what we gain also on this from this adaptation also was expand to other AFWA programs on sanitation, with sanitation operator partnerships, and we review the overall AFWA implementation strategies of WOP in any of our working areas, either sanitation, water, or environment. And as we can see from this dashboard,
Simeon, we can't hear you. We can see on the screen, but we can't hear you. Seems that Simeon has some challenges with his connection today. Is still connected, huh? And this microphone is. Oh no, I'm not sure. Is he connected still?
Yes, I can see him still, and he's unmuted.
But I have, it says not connected to me. No, he's not connected.
Yeah, he disappeared for me too. He's not connected anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, that's a bit challenging. Oh, wait. Okay, maybe while yeah, and the screen is not shared anymore. We don't have his presentation anymore. Should we try to switch to Malawi, Blantyre? Verson is also not connected anymore, or who is going to speak for Malawi?
No, I'm around. I'm around.
Ah, Verson, okay, you look, okay, it appears you are not connected to me, but okay, are you ready? Are you going to present for Blantyre?
Bright will be representing on behalf of Blantyre. Thank you.
Okay, and I also want to say that we have also Ashan representing eThekwini. So at some point also, I'm sure Ashan will want to intervene as the mentor for those two WOPs. Huh? So let's have the presentation from Malawi, and I hope Simeon will solve his connection problem in the meantime. So Bright, please, do you want to share your screen? Are you able to do so, or do you want us to share your presentation? You are muted.
Oh, please share the screen.
Okay, so Team Veronica, please share Blantyre presentation. Okay, that's the first slide. Just say next when you want to shift, and the floor is yours. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Anne, for this opportunity for us to make a presentation. But like what Simeon said in the first place, that we lost a great man in the name of Charles Boti. He was so influential in this project, and we learned a lot from him, and that can't go without being noticed. So we really appreciate for his services that he has rendered to this WOP arrangement for eThekwini and the Blantyre Water Board. So we are so grateful for that. Our presentation is basically just to give a highlight on the working areas that we were implementing for this project. We had the 3 working areas. The first one was non-living water. The second was billing and revenue collection, and also had customer service. So there it's like we're also trying to present a calendar of activities in 2019, 2020, and 2021. Of course, most of that has been already highlighted by Dr. Simeon. But on the list of activities, there's ABCD, which corresponds to the table. But the last one there after G, we also had an on-site training whereby members of staff from Blantyre Water Board visited Uganda to learn more from their side as mentors. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes, we have the main achievements under this project. The first one was we were able to install 68 back meters in the DMAs, and we also constructed chambers that were meant to protect these meters from vandalism and maybe road accidents from the road users. Basically, these back meters were installed in DMAs. After installing those back meters, we are now able to do water balance in 76 DMAs. Currently, as Brand Water Board, we have 130 DMAs. Out of that, 76 DMAs, we are able to do water balance. So that gives us an opportunity to monitor and evaluate how the DMAs are faring in terms of non-revenue water. We also installed 6 production meters. We had some challenges in the past whereby we used a volumetric test to determine how much is being produced, which of course has a higher error in terms of accuracy. So we installed 4 meters in the production sites so that we are able to calculate properly how much we are producing to help us calculate the revenue better. We had also we had a lot of 40 water meters. But under this project, the board tried its best to find some finances to buy meters and they replace with the 40 meters. So in total, we had to replace about 1,859 40 meters. We also had to, as an achievement, we bought high accuracy meters which we installed in the customers that are consuming water in bulk. So that is giving us an advantage in terms of calculating what customers are consuming better than what we used to in the past. Like I said, we are able now to conduct water audits because we have back meters, but still we are also trying to find more back meters and so that we install and we are able to calculate the revenue water in all the 130 DMAs. From this training, from this arrangement, from this project, we also learned pressure management. We have also done a lot of mapping and digitization of our pipe network. Like as I'm talking now, we are at a training whereby we are trying to redesign some other pipelines using the hydraulic model, which is also a product from the mapping and digitization of the network. We also developed an non-revenue reduction strategy. In the same line, I would also want to say that through this training, we have now trying to capacitate our non-revenue section. A number of people have been employed to make sure that it does its function properly. We also implemented under this project the on-site bidding. Now, in the past, we used to go take meter readings, bring them to office, and do the bidding. But now we are able to do the reading on spot and produce a bill to a customer. So that has given us an advantage in terms of customer, in terms of delaying giving bills to customers. So as of now, we are able to do the on-site bidding. That actually was again learned from the experience that we got from this arrangement. Next slide, please. In terms of challenges, I know that our colleagues have also highlighted, and some are the same, but I will just repeat as they reflect on our part. Financial we have financial capacity to fund some projects. I think the pipe replacement normally requires huge investment to do the pipe replacement. So financially, the board has not been able to do the extensive pipe replacement. We also have high cases of illegal connections. So many people are stealing water. These again, much as we are trying to uproot them, but we still have a lot of them in the system. Also, vandalism of infrastructure. We find that sometimes people would just break pipes for reasons best known to them. That again is also a challenge. Because of financial capacity, we also have we experience inadequate availability of materials like pipes and fittings. Obviously, COVID-19 had almost put to a halt most of the activities that we have been doing. Delays in procuring water meters and mobile water testing equipment. Under this project, we had a pilot project, a pilot DMA, where we are trying to learn from that DMA how best we can reduce the living water. This DMA was called Nancholi. So we had categorized the activities to two under living water, where we worked on the physical losses and the commercial losses. But on physical losses, we are able to replace all the pipe that had the high frequency of burst, and we had a reduced number of burst pipes and the leaks, because we had put almost new lines in this DMA. But the challenge there was that we are also planning to replace all the meters that were there, because they're odd. So under this project, I think we failed to achieve this objective of procuring meters because of challenges that we experienced. However, on the 40 meters, again, we tried to get a water testing equipment from our sister company, just to help us to at least to remove meters that were very faulty, so that we could maintain them. Next slide, please. Yes, there are quite a number of successes from this project. First of all, is our knowledge of Nalevin water has improved in terms of DMA management. We also have a better, we can now manage our Nalevin water better, because now we are able to expand and improve services, because we have reduced Nalevin water in a number of DMAs. We also note that for us to achieve better results, we learned from our colleagues, from our mentor, that availability of right tools would help to improve workmanship and also motivate our staff. Another thing was that we also learned that we need to be proactive, because we also noted from this project, from our mentors, that a number of activities in terms of level reduction may not even require financial resources. They just need people to get committed. I also need to improve supervision. So what we are doing now is we have intensified supervision for those that are working in the field, such that now our targets for our employees starts from the least person to the high office. So even the people that go into the field, the laborers, the plumbers, they all have their targets, which they're supposed to meet and make reports. And also, we learned from our mentor that feedback is very important. We are now able that if a customer reports a fault, then we would just repair a fault and everything ends there. But now we extend to report back to a customer that the fault that we reported has now been rectified. So we see that most customers are very happy when we give feedback to them for what they had reported. We also learned another success is that we learned and introduced periodic fault sweep teams. We are now able to create team not randomly, but periodically to repair all the leaks within the system. We also have improved infrastructure management, because we now have a better understanding of our network. We see that the response to issues has improved. So basically, that's what I would say. But however, I would want to quickly add something on the successes that as a board, we to make sure that what we have learned or what we have achieved and what the success that we have registered, we continue to implement. We have now tried to improve a lot in terms of motivation of our staff. What is happening now is that if a plumber or any other person within the section that is responsible for non-revenue water does well, they are rewarded. Plumbers, we've seen plumbers rewarded. Some we receive feedback from customers recommending a particular person for outstanding performance. the board is now able to reward such people. So that again, we are sure that the sustainability of what we have registered will continue. We have also employed additional plumbers to make sure that a plumber has at least, sorry, at most 6 DMAs, so that in 6 months, at least every DMA must plumber should go in those DMAs thoroughly, so that we maintain and monitor the levels of non-living water. So we have added a number of plumbers to make sure that we contain levels of non-living water. Lastly, the board thought that it is of importance to ensure that there's a team that looks specifically at the issues of non-living water. So a task team was set, and the team meets once in every fortnight. Initially, we used to meet once every week, but now, because of restrictions in terms of meetings and the like, we are now meeting once in a fortnight. This team, of course, all the directors of the board are part of the team to make sure that the decisions that are made from this task team is accepted by everybody across the water utility. So this team again meets and reviews processes. Where we think we're not doing well, we get encouraged from the task team to ensure that we reduce the living water to acceptable level. So all in all, we can say that we have learned a lot from this arrangement. And if there was a chance again, we would say let's continue because we see that we can learn a lot from what those that are doing well. Thank you so much. That's how I end my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bright, for this good presentation, and also for lessons learned. I have a feeling that yes, a lot was learned through this experience of WOP. Okay, we are getting very short of time, and we should already close the meeting, but I still want to keep some 10 minutes to have an overall discussion. I think it's needed because we didn't have a chance to do that yet. I will probably open the floor for some questions, interregional ones now, and I will ask myself with a question. Verson, I see your hand is up. I will give you the floor just after my question that will go to all of you, even in Asia, and it's a question about the procurement. Because I have a feeling that we had really a challenge all across the region on procurement processes. It was the first time for us to introduce a budget to allow the mentees to get some equipment to implement some of the new knowledge learned, like detection kits or smart meters on pilot zone, and it has proved very challenging. So I would like to maybe start with Mr. Abdullah, actually. What did you think about that? Was it really helpful to have this amount to do some purchase? Did you meet some challenges to have the procurement in place? And then I will ask Blantyre, and Verson can intervene then, and also over. Okay. So let's start with Abdullah, then I will give the floor to Verson.
Thank you, Ms. Ann. Actually, the procurement process, it was really a challenge for us, but we got the procurement guideline of WOP, and before going to start the procurement process, we have actually detailed study on the procurement guideline of WOP, and we found that it is very much in line with our government procurement. So that's why actually we could start the procurement process within short time, and we have found during the procurement process also we ensured the transparency. We ensured the transparency, and also the other procurement guidelines we followed very strictly. So it was also an experience that our procurement process also has got the similarity with the GOP or UN procurement guideline. So during the process, we invited the bidding process with the consultation of our facilitator as well. So it was an experience, and but I found it and also overcome this procurement process challenge. And finally, within this time, I think we have been able to procure many procurement processes, and as per our requirement of hardware, software, and other equipments for our operating systems. But due to time constraint, actually we could not fulfill our 100% budget allocation. However, we have tried our best to maintain the procurement process in guideline with the GOPA and even guideline. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, so I gather that, yes, it was useful to have an amount to spend on the equipment. Luckily, your procurement processes were quite aligned, so you were able to do it. For all the mentees, I think there was also the challenge with COVID-19 that everywhere the materials were a bit in shortage, and it was also difficult to procure some stuff, right? So, Verson, you were second in line. I would like also to have a word from Ashan before we close the meeting, if he's still online. He was representing the mentor for Africa. Verson, yeah, you want to add? I saw Simai, but you have your hand. Verson?
We first start with the issue of procurement. In our case, procurement indeed has been a challenge, and that is why we said we haven't met some of the things that were planned. Because in the project, we were supposed to have procured some meters to be replaced in one of our pilot DMAs. We were to replace every meter there and install new ones. But the procurement was not successful. And looking at our procurement laws, the government has added some 3 administrative levels for approval. Previously, we could only get an approval from the procurement regulator. But now, the 3 other government departments that need to approve, as far as the procurement is beyond 30,000 US dollars. So indeed, it was a big challenge for us. But still, we are in need of the meters. I don't know how it will be done, but we are in need of them. Maybe because I already have a flow, maybe just 1 minute to give a quick comment on the whole WOP.
Yes, please.
I have to mention that we've enjoyed being with our 2 mentors, both Itequin and the National Water Sewerage Corporation. Actually, we wished had the trainings both online and on site with the National Water and the Sanitation were done much earlier than we did. As you can see, we did them in November and December, which is close to the end of the WOP. But we've learned a lot, and whatever was learned, and also what was there in the non-revenue water strategy, including that we have been having meetings with our board of directors on the same issue of non-revenue water. We came up with an action plan for all those discussions into one action plan that was also presented to the board. And this is what will be tracked in our fortnight meetings that we'll be having in terms of non-revenue water. This is the same with the other activities in collection and also in bidding. We've learned a lot from our colleagues from Uganda, and we will put them into practice. We are developing the budgets now, and they are finding their way into the budgets. To improve on the procurement, what we've decided is that for the meters, both back meters, whatever meter, we will just have a framework supplier, a supplier that will be with us maybe for a year or 2 years, so that we should not be going the same process of approvals every time we need the meters. So for this one, we are doing it now, and it's Bright that is finalizing the document. I think I have also to mention on the training on the proposal writing, that soon after the training, we had a joint proposal that we had to write ourselves, Cape Town Water, Itequin, which we submitted to EU. I'm not very sure EU or UN Habitat. Unfortunately, here we failed, but we haven't yet received the formal response from there. So otherwise, the WOP has been very, very, very good for us, except that we haven't got the meters. I have also to mention the role that Aqua played. It has been really a very important role to us, connecting us to national water and also to Itequin water and sanitation. So we are really appreciative. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Verson, for this intervention. Ashan, I would like to still give you a chance to intervene if you are still connected.
Yes, yes, Anne, I am available. Sorry, I have another meeting to attend to, so I don't have much time to be here. But I must thank WOP for the initiative. I think this has brought a lot of people together to form relationships. I think through all of the challenges, I think many of them have been common with COVID and travel and stuff of that sort and procurement. But I think it has basically paved a path for us all to follow. Although we may not be able to achieve it in the short term, but I think medium to long term, we all know where we're heading in the right direction. So I think it has been quite beneficial. I think even for the mentors as well, because I have to confess, there's some of the lessons that we've learned at Malawi that we've also learned from how to deal with communities and informal areas. So I think it's a good